hi everybody. Welcome to the recap. Glad to have you. And by the way, I'll tell you what, last weekend, both Summit and Hobart won big time wins. Really ran up the score. Now, I watched both games. Both games were on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Both games were streamed online. And I know from time to time, some of you have wondered, how is it that I'm able to watch both games? Well, here's what I do. I take the computer and I throw the Hobart game onto the TV. And then I've got my iPad in my lap and I watch the Summit game. Here's what that looks like. Now, it's a little complicated watching a game. On the one hand, Tim, going to Hobart, playing tight end, he's only on Hobart offensive plays. Matt, on the other hand, is both quarterback and middle linebacker. So you really got to pay a lot of attention to Matt's game. But with Tim off the field for half the plays, half the game, I'm able to pay a lot of attention to Matt. And very enjoyable. And now you know how I do it. Now, let's go straight to lunch news. Well, we just got back from lunch. This week we went over to the Olive Garden, the one that's on State Route 60. Yeah, nice place. And, it's big, so there's no problem whatsoever with getting a table. We started off with fried mozzarella sticks, and they do them nice. I like them. They're kind of thin, and I kind of like that. I'm not that great a fan of mozzarella sticks, but they're nice once in a while. And of course, we had the salad and the breadsticks. I didn't have any of the breadsticks. I don't much care for Olive Garden breadsticks, but I love their salad. Now, Karen had these 5 cheese raviolis. And the Olive Garden has a special luncheon menu, so the portions are a little small. I mean, I still don't want to eat supper after having lunch at the Olive Garden. But anyway, so she had the 5 cheese raviolis, and I had the baked ziti. My opinion, it was a little bit dried out. But the ZDs was small. It was so-so. Not a great. I really had wished. I was hoping that they would have tortellini on the lunch menu, but they didn't. So anyway, it was a pleasant change of pace, nice break. Olive Garden. Yeah, I'll tell you what. The Olive Garden, I think, does a very nice job. The only complaint I have is that they don't have a luncheon portion of tortellini, because I would certainly go for the tortellini if they had it. Well, while we're speaking of food, let's go to something I haven't done in a while, which is a candy review. Over the course of the last couple of months, I've reviewed these Oreo cookies with Reese's peanut butter cups on stuff on the inside of them. And this week in candy news, I'm going to review the, the inverse, the reverse. And these are going to be Reese's peanut butter cups with Oreos on the inside. Here's what they look like. Well, as you can tell, it looks like the peanut butter cup has got a layer of white stuff on the top. And I'm hoping it's the stuff that they put inside the Oreos, the standard Oreos. And also, if you look, you'll see that it's got chunks of Oreos mixed in with the peanut butter part of the thing. Well, let's see how they did, see if they succeeded with this. Well, here it is. Here it is. You can see it. It looks like there's a dark spot in the middle of the white stuff. But the key is going to be, what does this thing taste like? Well, let me give it a try. Here it is out of the brown paper wrapper. And let's take a look. I'll check it. On this small bite, I could definitely feel the crunch of Oreos in there. Definitely feel it. I can't quite, there's a strong peanut butter flavor, which you'd expect with a peanut butter cup. But I'm not sure if the white stuff is, the Oreo stuff. I'm going to give it another try. Definitely getting the cookie crunch. Definitely the taste of peanut butter. I can't really tell. Here's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see the crunchy Oreos on the inside. It's pretty sweet. I don't know if that's Oreo stuff on the inside. I mean, on the white part of this thing. I would hope it would be. I'm going to wash it down with my standard Publix spring water. Well, as always, with a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, you really can't go too far wrong with it. Now, today's Halloween. And I know when my kids were little and they'd go out trick-or-treating on Halloween, when they'd get back, I'd go through their bags and I'd be on the lookout for, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I mean, that was my favorite. I kind of like candy corn, but Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, I thought were the best. These things are so good, I'd be inclined to put a cash bounty on them with kids. And I'll tell you what, tonight when your kids come back with whatever it is they collected, go through the bag and look for these things. Look for these in their bag, because you may want, I think you want to give them a try. They're really, really pretty good. Reese's Oreos, 200 calories per package, So you can, this thing is 100 calories, if you count calories. Anyway, that's this week's candy news. Good. This is Halloween. Keep an eye on what your kids bring in the door, after they go out trick-or-treating. You're going to want to keep an eye out for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and in particular, you're going to want to keep an eye out for these that are, the combination with the Oreos. Well, okay, that's this week's report. We've got a big weekend coming up. For Summit, they're in the quarterfinals, hosting the quarterfinals. They're playing Warren Hills, the Warren Hills Blue Streaks. I got a really good feeling about this game. And up in New York State, in Rochester, Hobart is taking on the University of Rochester. And I'm looking for another big win from Hobart. I think they're going to rescue their season with the few remaining games. That's my report this week. I'm going to see you all next week. Be sure to check in.